everybody in W01. No, that's my old name.
You'd be promoted. You got a doctorate.
I almost said it again. Hello, everybody. Doctor Indominus, Ron Victory here, and here I'm joined by...
I'm coming! Hold on! I'm almost there! Zane Reborn, who is joined by...
Ben Simp 101.
So, Doctor, I was about to ask you, what are we doing here?
Well, my fine tennis ball. Today we are here to talk about Jurassic World Chaos Fury Season 2!
Ba-bam-bam. And can I preference this? This is unironically have become my favourite piece of Jurassic media.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, I love this season so much, and well, Chaos Theory in general. Yeah, it's become my favourite bit.
Well, you know the show's doing something right if Orca's the one giving it a lot of praise.
Even above the first movie?
I mean, I know the first movie is a classic, but I feel like this isn't really me disregarding the first movie, but like because it's like seen as a classic or stereotypical like great movie is me being like, oh, things popular, so you like it a little bit less. But I don't know. I mean, Chaos Theory, to be honest, is like it's got more things that I like in it in a weird way. I don't know. We'll get into the weeds of it, but like I love every single character now, to be honest. I'm even loving this story. I say, I mean, the first movie is fantastic, but like, I don't know. This is speaking a little bit more to me, personally.
Okay.
Like, here's the thing. Orca, it's usually Indominus and I taking the lead, and Orca's just in the back seat, but this is like, whoa. Wow.
You're now in my car, fucker.
No, set me free!
Anyway, my question is, what was the highlight of the season for you?
I say let Orca go first, so I can have time to think.
Fair, but I don't think I really have an answer either. I don't think I have a very specific thing I like specifically. I really engaged with the story because the first season, I mean, the main mystery was, is Brooklyn alive? And we kind of already knew the answer. But now, like, it's actually like, we don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. So, I don't know, it was actually like engaging and stuffs. And I mean, also with the biases of it staring at the 9 rounds for 10 months, actually seeing a good bit of media is like, what is this? Stories can be good. Crazy. I was crazy once. I was editing a video for 10 months. A 10-month video that's 5 hours long. Crazy. I was crazy once.
Good answer, Orca, but I was honestly expecting you to just say Ben.
Did you see Ben in the first episode? Woo! Pumping a crate on his own. Can I rephrase that, please?
Sure.
He was pumping his own iron. There we go. just Doris's face. He looks so concerned.
I'll be honest, I can't choose one, but there are 2 specific moments that stand out to me. And the first one is the reveal of who the broker is. The introduction of Siona. Because that's something we didn't even predict.
True.
But we will probably get onto why we didn't later. And the second one would probably be when Red convinced the "Do you think he saw us?" to kill the man.
That's a name.
I stole it from Twitter.
Okay, for me, it's when Suchomimus versus Mudeng.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I'll fully admit, I found that to be I didn't really like that.
Why are you like this?
Because, like,
Why does everything I love be hated?
I couldn't care less about a Tsukumaba's fighting a hippo. I don't want to see him fight. I like both of them.
Everything I love is always hated.
I do have to admit, I am with you, Zane, on this. Because
Thank you. Someone is on board with me.
Because, like, I actually liked that, like, I know, despite this being a dinosaur show, we do still see the dangers of just the natural world anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a hippo, you would want to run into a hippo.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like, somewhat actually kind of holding its own against the Suchomimus.
I think the hippo should have killed the Suchomimus.
Really?
It should have bodied that bitch.
I don't know whether or not I think it should win. I'm glad it did stand its own, but I don't know if I agree with you there, but...
Either way, I'm just glad we got to see, like, a modern animal, an animal alive today. We get to see, like, the prehistoric interact with the modern and just see how it throws down. It stood its ground, it's fought, and then here Indominus is saying, oh no, that's boring. So again, I'm wrong, as usual.
Like, this is genuinely...
It always turns out like this. Everything I love, someone comes along and says, actually, no, the thing you love sucks. Every time. Every time it's like this.
Why is everything I love just turned to Skittles?
Let me guess. Next you're gonna say the Suchomimus wasn't the best dinosaur this season. Okay, then second question. What was your favorite dinosaur or animal this season?
Baryonyx.
Red.
Oh. Well, I was gonna say Suchomimus, but now I can't.
I did really like the Suchomimus though. It was a great second.
Yeah.
Are we just talking about the dinosaurs now?
I presume so.
Okay, because I feel like we should start with the Majungasaurus because that was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. First, I gotta talk. This toy is a lie. Everything about it is a lie. It's like the name. It had a name, and in the show, it was never. They never called it major, not once.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, this toy is fat, and in the show, the Majunga is like long.
Like a Majunga.
Yeah. So that toy, complete lie.
I genuinely, when I first saw it on the ship, I was a bit like iffy with the design. I was like, it kind of looked a bit like a chubby, chunky boy. In a weird way, I mean...
That's Majunga.
I know, the Jurassic design. But to be honest, when I saw it on land, I was like, actually, no, I think it's okay. It just, I feel like it just looked a little bit weird. Or just my brain just like expected to see literally a malnourished dinosaur on screen.
Well, I'd be surprised if it was malnourished. I mean, do you see how fast it eats everything?
They packaged two cannibal dinosaurs together. I know they justify it by saying they're running out of time, and they're obviously not dinosaur experts, so they probably didn't know. But like, really?
You lost me. What are you talking about? What are you reeling about?
The fact that the crew enclosed two Majungasaurs together? A dinosaur that's cannibal?
Yeah, I mean,
but like, they said they were rushed.
As I just said, they justify it, but I didn't.
And you make justifiable actions
like
when
what
you're
it
being
leads
rushed?
to. I like what it leads to. I just thought the justification to get there was a little subpar, but besides that, perfectly fine.
Okay. Anyway, let's see. Let me see this. Let me look at the Majungasaurus' menu. Another Majungasaurus, a Gallimimus, a lion, and potentially a Sucho.
Yeah.
Sorry, Douglas, you had the most biggest smug face on it. It was so funny. It looked like you were trying to rizz up someone.
I get it, Indominus. I don't have a brain. You don't have to be smug about it.
Hang on. Fucking.
Gosh, I nearly choked him.
The entire sequence on the ship, good, like solid horror. Well, not horror, but more thriller, more shocks. Well done. The lighting was excellent.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Oh, don't get me started on the lighting. I mean, I know we've already said this about the animation and lighting and stuff, but in the previous videos, but like, I was really appreciating it in this one. From you know what.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, why does it look so good?
Because it actually had a budget and
No.
time
No,
and effort.
you could never.
So I got two things to say about Majunga. What, like, that hasn't been said yet. One, I really appreciate that that's like a species that we've only seen in low lighting for once. Like, we never see it in the day. It's always at night. So that's like, oh, that's really cool. And the second thing, I'm a little disappointed that I don't get to make a my cabbages joke, because he did not attack cabbages, he attacked lettuce. I wanted so badly to just scream, my cabbages, but I couldn't because it's lettuce. Also, actually, I should mention, I did see, like, just before we started this, I saw a video that compiled a bunch of concept art for the dinosaurs this season. Hang on, let me just find the link and share it.
I immediately just see a seagull.
I'll talk about that later.
Ooh. I love the bottom right one.
Oh, the lavender one.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Hmm.
I also really like the grit that the top left one has. like the top left one looks like a real actual animal, even though the bottom right one is based on a real life animal.
So I guess even the final result we got, there's still, obviously, when we look at concept, there's gonna be one person who says like, "Oh, I prefer that one. Why didn't we get that one?" sort of thing.
It's all subjective.
Yeah, I know. I think we're done with Majungasaurus. We can now move on to Suchomimus, which I find stole the show because it was super prominent. It just had so many scenes. It did so much, and it's like, if I can even skip over, I might be jumping the gun a bit here, but I'm going to talk about when it dies. So,
Dies?
We're talking about Suchomimus here.
Have I just forgotten?
Yes.
It dies?
Okay, we'll get to that later then.
Chungosaurus.
Oh, I remember now. Sorry.
And
Go
you
on.
say I have no brain.
How did I remember this? I'm like the notorious one who just forgets everything when we start these calls.
Yeah, because you watched this yesterday. I watched this on Thursday.
Shush.
Anyway, Suchomimus. There are like 3 different skins for Suchomimus.
I spotted 2 different skins.
Oh,
Yeah,
I only saw the one, and I was about to praise it so much.
Okay, it's a bit hard to tell, but like, obviously there's the brown one from season 1 and even on the ship.
I didn't
then-
include the one in season 1.
No.
Sorry. So,
Either,
you were right.
yeah. So then you are talking about the fact that there were 2 Suchomimuses in Africa.
Yeah. There's the one that shows up at the farm, which is more orange, I believe? Or is it more red?
If you want, you may check the concept art video.
Okay, so I'm just going to guess then. Because the one that appears at the farm is more reddish, I believe. But the one that appears throughout the season is closer to being orange.
Let me just say, I absolutely adore the patterns the Suchomimus has.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I
Gorgeous.
really loved them.
It's so good. It looks it's immaculate. Let me pull up the thesaurus and describe how good this Suchomimus is.
The Sothosaurus. That's a weird name sounding dinosaur.
And the craziest thing is, if I look at the concept art, there's even more Suchomimus designs.
That requires research.
It requires you to pull up a video.
Oh my god! There's so many. There's 12.
Pick your favorite. Which one's your favorite?
I am in love with C2.
Ah, yes. C2 looks wonderful.
And I love E1.
Does the Suchomimus have a name?
Nah, I don't think it does.
Yeah.
Cringe.
I mean, if we could give it, we can give it a name at some point.
Because, like, our names primarily come from the toys. And I don't believe we've gotten a toy for Suko yet. I know it's been announced. I know it's been shown off at Comic-Con, I believe. But it hasn't been released.
That's quite
And even
puzzling.
even then, they have not revealed anything about a name. Like, even Beckel, Spinax, and Majungasaurus, they were given names. For some reason, Becky, I'm like, no, not Becky. It was Brunette and Major, and then the toys themselves, they don't have names. Well, maybe Major had a name, but I don't remember.
It might have... They might have been production names, and they got mixed up by accident. As in, like, maybe the crew called the Majungasaurus Major.
Huh. Maybe, yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
They gave it a nickname, despite the fact they weren't actually going to give it the name. They just said, well, typing in Majungasaurus over and over again is a bit of a mouthful. What do we say instead? Major? Oh, that works. Back to the Suchomimus. There's so much going on with it. It's just, first of all, it goes down to the farm, drink some rice puddles. Then it fights the hippo, and that part is like, oh, that was great. Loved seeing that. Even though it did kill the hippo, because that's like, oh, okay. But at the same time, it's like, well, yeah, it's like a bittersweet kind of thing. Like, on one hand, I would have liked to see the hippo win, but on the other hand, it's like, okay, more Suko time. I'm okay with that as well, because Suko is one of those dinosaurs that's had a rough history with Jurassic. It's been like, actually, I don't want to get my facts wrong, so Indominus, do you know like the full story of the Suko?
The furthest back that I know about it is that it was in the website. It was on the Jurassic World website. It was one of the it was like one of the prominent dinosaurs on there. It wasn't in the movie, but it was on website, so it was on the island somewhere. And it wasn't in Fallen Kingdom, and it wasn't in Dominion. It wasn't in Camp Cretaceous. And now, after 30 years of a franchise, it's finally in something.
Yeah. The thing is, I think it was planned to be in Dominion. Someone showed me concept art of it with the Taurus, I almost said Taurosaurus, sorry. Carnotaurus. Got my names mixed up. But like, yeah, it was meant to be in Malta instead of the Aloe.
Ah, yes, I remember now.
So now it's glad that not only does it get to show up in official Jurassic media, it gets to do so much. It got so much love. It gets to fight things. It gets to eat things. It gets to chase after the kids, and then it dies.
Yes. Something that I love about the Suchomimus when it goes to the farm is that in that situation, it's not a bloodthirsty animal. The only reason that it goes after the characters is that they directly antagonize it.
It's just like, he's just there, trying to sip. He's just like, I want some rice. I've heard about this famous rice. I want to try some. And the kids are like, no, don't eat the rice. And he's like, but I want to eat rice. He chases the kids, and the Stegos show up, and they absolutely wreck him. They just... That's another thing, because, like, in Season 5 of Camp Cretaceous, we have 2 Stegos. All Tor has to do is go, boo, and the Stegos book it. And that's just like, come on, man. Come on. And so it's just, in this time, we get to see 3 Stegos are like, nah, not this time. This is our turf. Get out.
But I do have one critique with one appearance of Suchomimus. which is in the night episode. Because throughout the show, the Suchomimus acts reasonable. It acts like a real animal. But in that one, I do
Yeah.
kind of think it becomes a bloodthirsty animal because it kills the hippo. It has a whole carcass left, but it kills and eats a Dimorphodon, and it still chases after Yaz. It has all the food in the world, but yet it still chases. It still tries to eat.
Yeah, I can concede to that one. I was like, okay, buddy, you have a whole hippo. What are you doing? You have you have enough food to last you for like a week. What are you doing?
Because I was going to say, if we could name him, her, they, meh.
What do you got? What do you got?
Considering it's hungry, and it ate a hippo, we could call them Hungry Hippo.
Oh.
Oh no. Get this man out of here. Oh my god.
You see, my brother and I had a different name in mind.
Go on.
We just saw this Suchomimus basically chasing everything in sight. And we're just like, man, this guy is like super greedy. He just wants everything in sight. Very stingy.
I was going to say, the second you said greedy, I was like, stingy.
Yeah. And basically, on our second watch of this episode, the whole time I was just singing the Mine song.
Oh my god.
This hippo is mine.
And this triangle sign.
This mailbox is mine, and this triagonal sign. That blue balloon, the month of June, they're mine, 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 mine.
We now have the trio. Spiny, Deja Vu, and Stingy.
Stingy.
Fish and chips go burr.
That's right, Fish and Chips now has a sibling.
What are you talking about? Fish and chips is the berry. Deja vu is the Suko.
I don't know why, but I always get them mixed around. I always see the sale on Fish and Chips and go, ooh, Suchomimus.
Can I have like a tangent here? How is a Suchomimus semi-aquatic? Like, I saw it swimming in the show, and it's like, how is that thing swimming? It doesn't look like comparing it to like the more modern.
It's a crocodilian.
Yeah, but it doesn't really have any like. It's not like comparing. I'm thinking of like comparing it to like the more modern version of the Spinosaurus. Like you can see its massive tail fin as its propulsion. This looks like it's just like, yeah, its face is quite crocodilian, and that makes sense. But then its feet are it's just like kicking its feet, like it's an ice age or something.
Well, this could lead to a possible critique of this design being outdated because, due to it being a Spinosaurid, it could have the fishtail.
I think, yeah. Anyway, sorry. Random tangent over.
No, that's a good tangent. That's a good point for that I didn't think of.
Yay. I did something constructive.
I have to bring up, in order to say this next bit, I have to bring up the Smilodon from the past show. Because as I've said before, the Smilodon is another very hype creature, but in execution, it was awful. It shows up, barely does anything, and they kill it off, but they don't even give it like a proper send-off. They cut away. You don't even get to see it die. This isn't the case with the Sucho. The Sucho is treated with respect. Sure, they kill it, but they don't cut away and say, they don't cut it to the kids going, oh, they actually show you the death. They see the life leaving its body. They show you its death. They give it respect. The complete opposite of the Smilodon, who got completely disrespected. Suchomimus got all the respect, but at the same time, it kind of leads to something with the berry, but I'll get to that later.
But
for now,
I will say, when the lions appeared for the first time in the shadows, my first thought wasn't, "Ooh, lions." Up until the point where the characters go, "Ooh, lions," I thought it was going to be a Smilodon.
Whoa. Jumping the gun a bit?
You see, my mind is so focused on the prehistoric animals. I just forget modern animals exist in these shows.
So, like, another thing, like, the Suchomimus, I kind of understand why it had to die in that situation to move the story forward. Because otherwise, if it won, it would still chase the kids. And
Yeah.
the scene would keep going. They had to kill it, so the Majunga's like, I can't swim. My arms are too tiny. Orca, you wanted to talk about the concept art for episode 3 where they show Oranosaurus, my beloved. Why were you axed?
And in the background, the carnivore was originally going to be a Ceratosaurus. So that means that the reason why it was a Suko both times was to save on budget, even though they already have a design and model for 2 Ceratosaurs.
That's the thing. Because, like, you could see it as that, or, well, because Ceratosaurus does already have. It's kind of. Trying to find out logic behind that would take a little bit of time. But at the same time, it's like, I guess. Okay, I can see why they had to move Oranosaurus out because, no way that thing's going to protect the farm. Well, no, okay, no. They antagonized the kids. They didn't antagonize any carnivores. And then Bumpy bodied both of them. So, like, but that Ceratosaurus, I can see it. I guess it's another case of which you prefer. If you prefer Suko or Cerato, which one would please you more? But I'm still more for Suko because this is Africa. This is his home turf. Like, yeah. Plus, we didn't see, like, well, no, that's not a good reason. I was gonna say, like, we didn't see Ceratosauruses on the ship, but then we didn't see Majungasaurus until it escaped. So, like, who's to say? Who's to say at all? But still, at the same time, Oranosaurus. I would have loved to see that again.
Okay, I need to make this very important point about.
Go on.
This is dinosaur related, so it's within this like segment. We see no Bumpy.
Oh.
Yes, because she's on a different continent.
We have Bumpy's egg. Also, I can't believe you were right about that.
Yes, I told you multiple times. But did you believe me? No, I told you twice among both the last videos. I said, "Oh, that's Bumpy's egg. That's Bumpy's egg. I think that's Bumpy's egg." But both times, did either of you believe me? No, nobody believed me. And now here we are, and it was a main plot point of season 2, and neither of you believed me. It was in both of the videos, and it was featured prominently. And yet here we are.
I'm not going to apologize. Do you know why? Because I'm still seething that we see no Bumpy. Not once. Weren't she on that ship at all? I can't remember.
No.
No, I can't. Okay, look, I have a memory of a goldfish. Okay, I could just remember this season. I'm livid that we don't see any Bumpy. I know narratively that makes sense, but no Bumpy. 0 stars.
Still, I told you.
Well,
all I have to do. This is a quick fix. All I have to do is find out something you got wrong.
that's going to be very hard, to be honest.
You are
He did very much hit the nail on the head pretty much this season. The only thing he got wrong was like the Sonya stuff, but like,
yeah.
I mean, but even then it was like, who did any of us get that right?
Somebody did predict that we would find out about Red this season. One of you predicted that.
Was
I'm
that
just
me
going to
or
claim
Orca?
it's me.
I don't know.
I'm just going to claim
Because
it's me.
I'm gonna
might
give
be
Orca
you.
the credit.
Yeah.
That's a very bad idea.
Either way, I guess we're gonna talk about Red.
Yes.
I'm going to hold it over your head.
Because
I predicted red.
because I will admit, I did have Red's presence in the season spoiled for me.
You...
I saw a screenshot of it on Twitter. there was no warning. It was just a screenshot, and people going, "Oh, I guess she's in the season."
How?
Fucking Twitter users.
How? I
That
can't imagine
lesson
how you
learned.
got spoiled. Like, I still follow Jurassic stuff on Twitter, and I didn't get spoiled, and I'm not even trying to avoid the spoilers.
The thing is that it's not. It's never by the. It's never by the dedicated Jurassic user accounts. It's always just by like random paleo users, like just casually talking about the show, which is good. But like, come on, man, spoilers.
This is why I don't use Twitter.
But here's the thing. I saw 2 photos of Red. The second one that I saw was one where she was cornering Brooklyn in the last episode, and it's just a shot of just Red. But the first one that I saw was a screenshot of the portrait that Siona did. I saw that painting out of context, so I didn't know anything behind it. The only thing I knew is that there was a painting of Brooklyn and Red on the same canvas. So, like, until watching the show, I was thinking, oh, is Red on Brooklyn's side? Because I was like, oh, they have a portrait together. That might be something kind. Maybe Red is to Brooklyn what Blue is to Owen. Maybe this is post the Dominion, and Red's gone rogue, and maybe that's why she hasn't shown up. But no, it was just a very tense scene.
Can I say, when I first saw Red in the painting, I thought that was going to be like the Titanic moment, and the Red was like, "Draw me like one of your French girls."
Back on
Paint me like one of your Dakota Raptors.
back on track. I will say I am so glad I didn't see any spoiler of Red. I got completely taken off guard the moment. Like, here's the thing. First of all, when I first saw Siona, I didn't know that was Siona. I didn't recognize her. I just thought that was just some random artist. I'm like, that's not the broker. That's not the broker. That's not the broker. That's the broker. That's Siona. That's Red.
I didn't recognize it was her until I heard her voice. I didn't until I heard her speaking English.
I like the
It
way we
wasn't-
kind of had like different points of realization. In honest, you realized as soon as she spoke more or less English. I was like, as she was painting, and I was looking at her design a bit more, and I was like, she kind of feels a little bit familiar. I mean, you saw my reaction in the chat.
Yeah.
I was like, is this bitch?
You asked me if it was her.
Yeah. I was like, And then, by the sounds of it, Zane, you only realised when Red was like, hello?
I think it was when the moment she started talking suspiciously, I started to realize that was her.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's
And
also
then-
the same actor. She does a great job.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They got an actual movie actor. Oh, that's what I forgot to. I
mean-
forgot to get her figure. I have that.
I mean, you say they got an actual movie actor, but in all fairness, she was in the movie for like 12 minutes.
Yeah, that's what because like that was like the multibit. I said I love everything about the multibit, including the Raptors, including all that, and now it's like, oh, this show is just expanding on my favorite part of Dominion. Huzzah!
Yeah.
Also, technically, our theories are correct. Red is behind everything.
Red is behind everything. She's the girl boss.
She was an associate.
Oh, no.
No, it's just no. You think Sayona's the broker?
No.
Red is the broker.
Yeah.
Sayona's just speaking for her.
I was going to say, that laser pointer wasn't actually Sayona pointing the laser. It was just Red's free will.
I mean, like, I wouldn't be surprised considering how Red was treating Brooklyn towards the end.
There was some moments where I'm like, Red, do you have like free will in there? Because she was like either holding back or going full John Hammond on like a baryonyx and like probably not John Hammond, probably full Indominus Rex. No, hang on, I need to remember the movie, Jesus, and went full Velociraptor on the Indominus Rex. There we go.
Okay.
I got there in the end.
That's just we gotta talk about that scene, man.
Yeah.
That is just like the moment is Red a boy or a girl? That's probably a question
No.
that's gonna.
They use the pronouns she in the show.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because a raptor has the concept of gender.
It's important. I mean, it is important when you're talking about it.
I know. It's just funny.
Because
I know.
we all know Jurassic Park dinosaurs. You misgender something. You say anything. Like for the longest time, the Atrociraptors, everyone has been debating their genders, and I don't know what is what anymore.
Here's the thing. Apparently, I heard this from a employee who used to work at Universal Studios, and they were told that when they talk about the Atrociraptors, use the pronouns he. That they were told that all the Atrociraptors were male, but now we have official media using different genders, which is a bit odd, but it's not a big issue.
So even the official creators don't know.
Yes.
So Red, the moment she went click, I'm like, oh boy, oh here we go, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh this guy's gonna. Oh no! What sentence would I say? To say he's absolutely. Oh no!
I didn't realize you went French.
Oh my god!
No, ma croissant, no!
I go full Joseph Joestar. Oh no!
Holy shit!
We should give Red a permanent French accent.
Oh, oui, oui!
Baguette!
Je m'appelle Red! Baguette! Would you like a croissant?
No, it's pronounced. What accent was that? It's pronounced Red.
Of course I'm Red! Why do you think I talk with this ridiculous accent?
Red.
Je m'appelle Red!
Je m'appelle. Bonjour. Je m'appelle Red. You have to get going on there because the French people.
I shake my tail in your general direction!
I'm sorry?
I knew what was going to happen as soon as she brought out the canvas because I was like, oh! That wasn't a friendly portrait made to commemorate a friendship. It's torture.
Just imagine that. You're just sitting there for a portrait. It's just like casual, good vibes. And all of a sudden a raptor just comes out and just like, this is what you see.
Can I just say how, like, ironically, I liked how smart the broker was? in a weird way that she's like, she's always like 2 steps ahead of the new Bar 6, but on the same par as us in terms of like knowledge. But it's kind of interesting. But also, it does make sense how she just knew stuff. It's like, oh yeah, they're in Senegal. Yeah. Oh, Brooklyn is spying on me. Yeah. Which was interesting in terms of villain. It's like, ah, yes, this is definitely a smart villain going on. And I don't think there was any leaps in judgments in what she knows. Because to be honest, it's kind of vague of what she had set up. I just like that she seemed smart, but it didn't feel out of nowhere. And it was never information that we didn't know as the audience.
I will say, I'm glad we got like this smart, cunning villain, and not the other guy that Brooklyn was temporarily allianced with.
Oh yeah, I honestly, I actually
forgot about him.
I actually want to like say a bit about this. Like, I'm so glad that, like, in the trailers and everything, the what was it, the dinosaur liberation now was like quite prominent, and we thought, well, I thought, oh, that's probably going to be the big bad this season, or the main thing they focus on this season. And I was a little bit worried because, like, in the trailers they're okay, but when I was watching it within the season, I thought these guys are absolute clowns. They are so goofy, especially with their velociraptor.
I know. It's like hang on, if I can interrupt you. Like, in the trailers, I'm not already sold on this guy because his goofy mask. He walks in like this dinosaur mask. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna take this guy seriously. And then his personality comes out. I'm like, oh no, oh, he's so much worse than I could have imagined. It's like it's Eugene.
Oh gosh.
It's just an army of Eugenes.
But luckily, obviously, they move on for that, and like it is supposed to be a jokey villain, which I was like, oh, I'm so glad. Like the show is definitely self-aware that they're a bit goofy.
People didn't like what was his name? Cash. People didn't like him. They knew not to do it again.
Because I will say, I love how the Raptor mask is like, it's literally just straight up the Mattel toy. At first, I was like, okay, it's probably just inspired by it. They probably just took the face of Blue, hollowed it out, and made it into a mask. But there is a shot of where there's a empty mask lying on a desk at a certain angle, and it's identical. They straight up just scanned it.
I mean, fair enough. It looks good in the show, so if they manage to cut time and detail with that.
So I'm going to say two other things about the masks. One, how dumb is it that you're trying to free all of these herbivores while wearing the mask of a carnivore that tries to eat them? Like, why would you do that? They're going to see that face and be like, ah. And then, secondly, on the masks, Brooklyn, what the heck? Why? Everyone, when he's doing the video, say, we are dinosaur liberation now. You can see Brooklyn in the back. She's just standing in a row with the others. They're wearing masks.
No. She's one operating the camera. It's a reflection. I was right.
Was it? I could have sworn I saw someone else.
Yeah, but still, it's like, come on.
Why? Basically, Brooklyn, that's a rookie mistake. Wear your mask at all times. You want everyone to think you're dead? Don't show your face on camera. Don't have your face revealed anywhere near a camera, even if it's not on the camera.
Yeah, don't go anywhere near a camera.
Idiot! Come there. No wonder you got caught. Your moves are as dumb as your haircut.
To be fair, I'm ignoring the haircut comment, but to be fair, the fact that she is quite amateurish does kind of make sense.
Does it though?
I think so. She's a YouTuber.
She's a former influencer.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So she went from influencer to
reporter,
journalist, undercover journalist type thing. She's had no formal training.
Yeah.
So the reason why, her amateurish moves kind of make a little bit of sense. Apart from like, I would argue the camera. I feel like she should have known that. But
that's why she was put on the camera, because she was the only one who knows how to operate one.
Probably.
Then put on a mask. So I guess that's all on the DLN, and we went from like talking about the scene with Red controlling the baryonyx to then Sayona and then the DLN.
We haven't talked about Red controlling the baryonyx.
Yeah, exactly. We jumped to these other topics.
Yes, because we haven't talked about the absence of the white woman and why we haven't talked about why we never suggested Sayona.
I guess we're going into the villain stuff. I mean, this is kind of going into the Brooklyn side of the story. I guess we were relatively correct in terms of the structure of the season. Like, I had a feeling it was going to be focusing on the Nublar 5, and then Brooklyn in the meantime. Well, no, you can say Nublar 6. The girl, Zaina. I actually liked that we saw more of Brooklyn's perspective of the night. Like, I was kind of shocked in terms that we did see that. I was just fully expecting that it was just going to, like, sort of move on from it, but I did like that we saw see more of her perspective, even though it was a lot more different than it was trying to lead us. Like, we thought it was the Allosaurus that took her arm, but
Allosaurus flat out saved her.
Yeah, it was the white
I was
woman.
I was right.
Yeah.
The Allosaurus was framed all along.
So I guess that leads on to the point of why we didn't see a white woman This entire. I now refer to her bitch woman because what she did to Brooklyn.
I'll continue to call her white woman because it's funny. Obviously, the reason why we didn't see her was because she just didn't fit in structurally because she's with the rest of the Atrociraptor squad.
In
and
America.
Who don't appear throughout the show.
Yeah. We don't go to, we barely go to America in,
Yeah.
well, no. Wait, we do. With the DLN. I completely forgot about them.
I guess
But-
this is.
Go on.
Sorry, I guess this is somewhat like at the moment it's still relatively in the setup phase. So I imagine it's going to be a bit more of a team up later on in the series between Sonya. Do we know the relationship with Sonya and the
We
white
do not.
woman?
We do not
No.
yet.
I have a feeling they're sisters.
I assume that she is just like, a white woman is just the second in command or something.
I have a feeling they're sisters.
My theory in season 1 was that this was like quite a while pre-Dominion. Well, no, it was one of my theories that this show might have taken place a fair bit before Dominion, and ironically, calling her a white woman was Siona, but she just hadn't become her yet. But here we are, and they're two different people. So, I was thinking a lead-in theory that I came up with is that potentially, this is kind of crazy, that possibly the white woman could be a failed, somewhat clone of Siona to try and get somebody to try and replicate somebody who the Atrociraptors listen to without a doubt. Or it could just be crazy.
So Douglas is going full on chaotic theory.
Yeah.
Chaos theory. I'm going probably, I don't know, I guess the safest route. And then Zane, what was your stance, wasn't it?
So my theory is she was still cloned with the raptors. Sayona is the one who cloned all of them. She accidentally got her own DNA in there somehow, and then it's like, so one of the raptors, it turned out human instead.
She's among them.
Yeah, the red we see that got painted, that was red 2.0.
She mutated into the white woman.
Oh my gosh. Actually, because we know there is a relationship relatively, because I think Sonya did even mention within the show that there was a line, it wasn't really throwaway line, but she did mention that the whistle method is so unreliable.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely know there's a connection, even though obviously they're Atrociraptors from the third movie, so we know there was a connection there to begin with. But there was definitely a line within the show that gave us a connection.
There's restraint to just reveal all of their answers right off the bat. They're saving stuff. They're keeping us enclosed.
Kind of speaking of like revealing answers, so Kenji's dad was like a red herring.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, did I call it? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I called him a red herring at some point.
I'm not gonna lie, a part of me is still holding out hope that he has done something. I'm gonna have some major copium, and he still is somewhat involved.
Okay, I got your back. He's the one who funded the project to let Sayona clone the Atrociraptors.
Ah, that's a good copium right there.
I think we're gonna jump back to dinosaurs because we're technically not done yet. There's 2 more dinosaurs to talk about. First of all, we're gonna talk about the one that everyone wants to talk about, the berry.
I love that baryonyx.
I will say this. This show loves and hates baryonyx.
Mm-hmm.
Because they keep giving us these, if I can just pull out my custom Grim here, a little plug-in here. They just love making colorful, appealing-looking baryonyxes and then killing them.
Yeah. This is the 4th one.
This is the 4th baryonyx they've murdered. Let's see. Grim, shot. Chaos, burned. Limbo, ragdolled. And then this one, explosion. No. Kaboom?
Yes, Rico. Kaboom.
At least it's better treatment than what Bumpy's egg went through this season.
That egg is scrambled.
that egg is drowned, scrambled, exploded, cracked, sent into space. I don't know. It should not be alive.
Back to the blind Barry. At first, of course, it was kind of obvious that it was blind from the beginning, but when it first appeared, due to the ridges over its eyes, it had like the shadows were covering its eyelids.
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw that, I didn't interpret them as shadows. I thought its eye sockets were just hollow. I thought it had like I thought at first it has big black holes for eyes.
I mean, I guess you weren't
But then,
too far
but
off.
then,
Uh-huh.
the more they revealed, I was like, oh, are its eyelids sewn shut?
And
But
then it reveals it doesn't even have eye sockets to begin with.
It doesn't have any resemblance of eyes, which is even better. Like, that is so cool! That is such a good concept for an antagonist in a show like this. That is great! Phenomenal! I love it!
And then, ooh, I would describe that as like, yeah, it's cool, it's eerie, it's like, whoa. And then the way the campers are like, it just follows them.
I know, because due to it being blind, it has all of its other senses have been enhanced because it heavily relies upon them. So, like, it can hear. So it can hear everything.
It's like it's okay. I'm about to ruin this. It's like you're just whispering a secret, and he's like, "I heard that."
Brooklyn has a bad haircut. What?
Oh, you don't say. He's like in another room, and you're just whispering, talking, and he's like, "You know, I can hear everything you're saying, right?"
I love the idea of, like, the baryonyx, like, just being a top tier gossip provider.
Oh my god, I heard this like one scientist, she's like totally into someone else. Like, oh my god.
The way they gave the baryonyx something, they described it with something, but I don't know what it's called. Leucoustic, I think.
Type the word in.
Leucism? Leucism, maybe? Either way, it's okay. Leucism.
Just hearing.
I'm just gonna, you know what? I looked
Just
this up.
trying
I looked this up.
trying to say scientific words. This is peak comedy right here. I don't.
I looked it up earlier. It's like basically semi-albinoism,
Ah.
where it's not a full albino, it's a partial albino.
Hmm.
But since that's not a real word, apparently they just call it Leucism.
I swear that was actually a thing. I think it's a thing in snakes.
I'm looking at
Which
images.
makes
I see it.
sense because dinosaurs are reptiles.
Yeah.
I see it in like there's like quite a few animals here.
I know.
Oh, I looked up Google Images, and one of the first things I see is that baryonyx. So I'm gonna move on to the controlling of the baryonyx.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we keep trying to talk about it, but we keep moving on to another topic before we even get a chance to say anything. So, what do we gotta say?
At first, I did genuinely think that the scientist was just molded by his own creation.
Yeah, same here.
But then he appeared, and I was like, okay, he knows how to control it.
Not gonna lie, I was a bit like, it's about goddamn time that like a scientist was able to like take a little bit of control. Like, it's your bait. No, it's you made it. Surely you can have like a mechanism to. I mean, that's always a foresight, a short sight that these scientists make. They're like, let's make these big scary reptiles that like to eat and hunt everything.
Let me sum this up in like one sentence. No baryonyx. I am your father.
No! No, sorry, hang on. Oh my god, like, no! Stay safe! It's like when Becky just comes in. Oh my god, Becky, you never guess what I just heard. Like, oh my god, sister, you know it's alright.
This family tree is getting complicated.
They're not biological sisters, okay? They're like... Ugh. So he doesn't know anything about women.
Okay, I get it. I'm alone. Don't rub it in.
Oh.
But when the scientist appeared again, I thought it was going to be like verbal commands, like, oh, get him. But no, it's done by clicks. Because it's done, my hands didn't click. It's like, my hands are sweaty, I can't click. It's communicated through clicking, because that's the best way the baryonyx is going to interpret everything, because it's an animal. The directions do kind of need to be simple. But I love it. I love it.
Turns out Red wasn't clicking towards the baryonyx. She was just speaking French.
Oh, wee! Go get them!
Bonjour. What's the name of the baryonyx, by the way?
Do you think he saw us?
You think he saw us?
I told you. Do you think he saw us?
Why are you doing this
Yes,
to
I
me?
forgot.
Bonjour, do you think he saw us? Would you mind going to kill that man? This is a great French accent, I know. This is like equivalent of Sauvage in the Johnny English movie, of how great it is. And do you think you saw? Why did you give it that name? It was like, oh my god, you're speaking French to me. I love it. I'm gonna totally kill my father.
Red pulled out the highest intellect of any dinosaur in existence.
Yeah, because because when Red started mimicking the baryonyx, I was confused because I didn't think she was mimicking. At first, I thought she was speaking baryonyx because I was like, due to the logic of this franchise, it has to be part of something to communicate with something. So like, I was thinking, oh, Red isn't part baryonyx, so they shouldn't be able to communicate. But then eventually I was like, oh, she's intimidating the clicking. She's interpreting the noises.
I got it the moment she made the first.
Yeah, same.
I didn't.
I did, but I do have to admit, I'm not too sure if I liked it.
What?
I don't know. I feel like my mind could change, but I feel like the Atrociraptor wouldn't be that smart. But then, obviously, all of this is so subjective. So it's really, there's no like, this is not a case where I like bring out a dictionary and like, if you look at this page here, pulling up eyes, glasses to my eyes. This is just like feeling, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this: at least they're getting a much higher success rate than before.
Yeah, like, I love that. I cannot express how much I love that. It's so cool.
Like in Dominion, I think they only killed one person, and it wasn't even anyone important.
Mm-hmm.
It was just some dude. And this time around, now they're getting a lot more kills.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of
They're
times
actually
they failed to
important kills
get
as
the
well.
Nuclear 6. I mean,
Well, of
this
course
is
not.
just turns
Like,
into the criticism of just like, I guess, the franchise is like they're trying to like big up these dinosaurs as great military applications, and it's just like, bitch, with the amount of times you can point a laser at a guy, you could just do that with a gun. But you know, I think everyone has said this critique before.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, same old news, same old news.
Yeah.
At this point, your suspension of disbelief, it's supposed to take over and go, oh, okay.
I think there's a degree where it's just like, with the evidence within the show of even the Atrociraptors being relatively unsuccessful at times, is like, okay, why are they trying to push this? if they're like successful pretty much a lot, I know majority of the time it was against the protagonist, which obviously they can't just murk them. But it does sort of soften like their point that they're trying to orchestrate when it feels like even like what was it, the captain guy? He even got away for a bit. Like I know he did still get deaded in the end, but there was a timeline. There was a timeline where he escaped that.
So moving on from that, I will say, Red is not just smart; she's also cruel. She knew exactly. She just left that Baryonyx to die.
Oh, she was a addictive bitch.
Terrible friend.
I know. It's like, hey, you know, oh, we shall be amigos. Yes, we shall be friends. You are my mon ami. Yes. Oh, what's that? Never mind. Stay here and die, sucker. It's just sad. It's like even before the lab explodes, you can see the Barry just lost in one of the cameras. It's like, what's going on? What is that horrible sound? And then
I felt so sad for it.
I was praying the Baryonyx would somehow escape or Red would take it with her. But nope. Another Barry added to the list.
Yeah.
Added to the corpse pile. Oh, we have to dig this grave deeper.
It's not just Baryonyx. I think it's Spinosaurs in general. The Suchomimus as well.
Bruh.
Yeah.
The only one who was actually able to live was the Spinosaurus.
I kind of, before we like move away from like the lab stuff, I don't know whether this is just me not remembering anything before, but I feel like we've never really seen like actual laboratory of these dinosaurs like in progress, like especially with them like floating in those incubators like that.
Maybe Jurassic Park 3?
Yeah, but they were all dead.
Ah, that's true.
But it is kind of...
Either way.
I kind of like that we did see this, because it was kind of creepy in a good way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something else. There was like a species from Dominion in one of those incubators, which is proven here in this Chaos Theory season concept art video I sent you. They show each of the embryos.
Okay. I thought it was a Lystro.
Yeah.
Because when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, is that a Lystro?" I was thinking, "Oh, is that a Lysosaurus?" But I saw another cultural vat, which had a baby Nazutoceratops in it, and I was like, "Oh no, it was probably just a repeat of the Nazuto." But no, now that I'm seeing this, I know I wasn't crazy. It was a Lystro. I was right. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, oh, that's the thingy. And I was like, huh, I noticed it, so the others must have.
Yeah, but I doubted myself.
It's the devil himself.
The Lystrosaurus.
Okay, so like, I will say, so if Suchomimus appeared at the tail end of season 1 and then made a prominent role in this season, do you think it's going to be the same with Lystro? Are we going to see Lystros in season 3?
I'm willing to bet, especially considering how this season ends, because we finally find out when the show takes place.
Before Dominion.
Yes, because Siona states that she just gained her deal with Dodson.
Dodson! We got Dodson over here!
So that confirms that this is pre-Dominion.
And it confirms that Ghost is going to die.
Yeah.
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 But at least the others are still alive, I guess.
Yay!
Red's gonna wander the country of France.
No, Red is the only one who gets captured. In the background.
That's right. Red is the only one that gets captured. She's French. She deserves it.
I actually want to talk about the characters though, because I was actually engaged with the characters for once in a weird way. Well, because I say, like, even from this first season, I'm enjoying their like story arcs and stuff. Kenji was on a.
Kenji went full Danger Man.
Yeah.
to cope with his loss.
Lose.
Yeah, he went on a thing this season, which again, I mean, there's nothing really to comment on, I don't think. I just liked it because it's an interesting direction.
I just love how Yaz is trying her hardest to help him,
Yeah.
but he won't let her help. So she's trying, and honestly, she just felt like the one who's trying to help everyone, but she can't.
I was gonna say, like, Yaz is literally just the one trying to hold the group together in the way, like, okay, Kedge's,
Which is weird. You
Kedge's
think
going nuts.
Sammy would
Ben's
be doing
doing
that.
something here for here. Ben's like being very curious about his phone. I bet. Yeah. So Yaz was mainly more in the present, and then obviously Kenji was doing his thing. I feel like Darius was a little bit weak this season.
Yeah, I can go with that. Darius, because there was a lot of him in the last season. This time around, he's just like trying to be trying to just flex his dinosaur facts, I guess, to Zaina.
Yeah,
and Zaina's just like, you remind me of my dad.
I do want to say, even though he was only on screen for like a minute, but I love Zaina's dad. He was hilarious.
He was brilliant. Oh, we need to talk about Sammy as well. I mean, Sammy is kind of just more of Sammy, but Sammy's I like Sammy.
Yeah, a bit. She gets grumpy at one episode, but I mean, she was reasonable, understandable.
Yeah, heart of the group, and then yeah. Okay, can I talk about Ben? No, there's nothing really much to say about Ben, to be honest. Yeah, so he's the one who got the first whiff of that Brooklyn was alive, and then obviously he went on his whole hyperfixation.
Like, I actually like how they did it. I was worried he was gonna be like, oh, Brooklyn's alive. Wait, I can't tell anyone. This one's like, oh, I think Brooklyn's alive. I need to find evidence though, so they don't think I'm crazy. I'm looking. Oh, there she is. She's alive. Oh, but she doesn't want me to tell him. Now what do I do? And that's when he really hits the breaking point.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, how do we feel about this liar reveal sort of plot line? Because those are usually not great. But I think this one was like mostly understandable, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still gonna be like, okay, Kenji's gonna go through the times but then Kenji's just been through so much that I can't really blame him.
He's gone through so much, man. Give
Poor
him a break.
He's in the fields, man.
Let him rest.
Let him have something.
Poor Kenji.
Okay. Also, speaking of, we do get a character dinosaur. This isn't him, but it's a stand-in since I don't have an official toy of it.
Oh, Geba.
Geba.
I mean,
I liked him.
Yeah, me too.
Geba's Geba.
Yeah. So I like the way they portrayed him. Because, like, you know, with Blue, it's like, oh, I am your best friend. We are together forever. We are amigos forever, sort of thing. But then Geba's like, kind of just like your typical pet. Like, you go out to fetch water and he just drinks all the water. Like, you're trying to prepare stuff and you find out, hey, why is the bag not full? Because Geba ate it all.
Is Geba like just a big Kevin?
No, he's way more active than Kevin. Way more interactive.
True.
And then the thing is, this is another thing I like. You know how Gallimimus, even in like the first episode, Gallimimus shows up, just dies to Majungasaurus. But then Geba, for one, Geba actually looks different from every other Gallimimus, so that's a nice change that they gave a unique color skin. Secondly, Geba towers over Red and just absolutely starts.
I was gonna say, Geba was straight up just like emu kicking Red.
I also did want to talk about Brooklyn.
Didn't we
because
already?
I do want to say that out of the two stories in the show, I'll admit I was infinitely more invested in Brooklyn's than the crew.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, although the Nublar 5, 6 wasn't bad, it was kind of just like, okay, typical Nublar 6 doing shenanigans. But obviously the Brooklyn stuff was definitely like a new direction for at least this set of series is.
Because didn't they have like a amputated a compy called like George or something.
Gordon. The compy's name was Gordon.
Yes,
And
Gordon.
The funny
Because
thing is,
as soon as she said Gordon, I just burst into laughter. Like, yes, hello, Gordon.
the thing is, I think Gordon is just like Major, who got a toy before the season was even before season 1.
Really?
Yeah, Gordon got a toy with the Yasmina figure. You know those human packets, those play sets that are never anywhere.
Why with
Yes!
Yasmin? Why with
They
Yasmin?
don't exist. It's like, we know they exist, but they don't exist. I've been searching for them. I was in the U.S. for a week searching for those, and they didn't show up.
Imagine going to the US. Ugh, cringe.
Yeah.
When Ronnie first mentioned Gordon, I didn't know she was. I mistook it as a compy somehow bit through someone's leg, like a human's leg, and I was confused. I'm like, whoa, how did that happen?
Oh.
And then I see the compy out there, and I'm like, oh, never mind. It was the compy who bit his own. A compy lost his own leg, and he has to wear the cone of shame.
The cone of shame. There's just Doug next to him. Sorry, can I? This actually came as a little bit of a shock to me whilst like watching the show. You know,
Ronnie.
yeah, and then she was revealed to be like clever girl, whatever. But like actually like knew Brooklyn and like actually keeping her secret away from Darius from the first bit. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. I thought just like a pretty much a throwaway character was like actually interesting. I was like, oh okay.
I know.
Oh, that's just good. That's just good shit right there.
I just realized Darius is gonna have some words with Ronnie when he gets back.
He's like, bitch, you kept her away from me. Well,
And she witnessed the whole awkward conversation as well.
oh gosh, yeah. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited. Probably after this, when this show wraps up, going back through it and seeing all the tiny details they did include that we obviously missed for not knowing.
Yeah, I love it when shows do stuff like that, where it's like your first watch you go completely blind and you get a whole new perspective your second time. When you know that's gonna happen and what that's leading up to. It's great.
I did actually want to to talk about I actually really liked how they did their representation of the
One arm?
Yeah. Because they even got subtle details. I mean, because I've only picked this up from people sharing their experiences online anyway. But stuff even Phantom Limb, the fact that she was feeling that pain, and in the show, I liked how they still kept her as a badass and doing stuff and being active in everything. Yeah. But also still showed that the arm still was a nuisance in a way. I feel like some inferior show writers would have just either completely written her out or just make it so it's no consequence to it. But she struggled using the arm. There was even a small thing with when she was moving the crane in the lab to get how she had to try and maneuver that, because that was usually used for two-handed controls, and then as people who are used to having two arms, it's oh, there's no things we think about. And I just liked it. It's it gave enough consequence, but it still kept her badass enough where it didn't feel like they were completely detrimenting it. If that made any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, I like that. I always like good disability representation.
Yes.
Nice.
Before we move on completely towards someone else, I do have to say, we were lied to. We talked about, in our last video, about her being a mysterious new pterosaur. It was even on the poster with Major.
Yeah.
We mentioned that, there's this new pterosaur with a big crest and a abnormally long tail. It was in the background of a poster, and it was featured prominently in a silhouette in a poster. It was the main focus of a poster for season 2.
It was a teaser on Netflix, honestly.
It was the teaser for Netflix.
And we got 12 seconds of footage.
and it wasn't even in the show.
I
We got
think
pteranodons. We got dimorphodons. We did not get the mystery pterosaur.
I think it was supposed to be the one we did see in the show. What was it? Pteranodon? I think it was supposed to be that, but I think the reason why it looks a bit like proportions are a little bit whacked because I think that was probably just the shadows, as in like stretching.
No.
No.
The shadow we
Completely
showed.
different. The crust is completely different.
Okay,
I
fair
have
enough.
to admit, the last episode was going by, and I was like really hoping. I'm like, okay, now it's gonna show up. Now it's gonna show up. Now it's gonna show up. What the heck, man? What the heck? I was lied to.
Not gonna lie, I kind of when I saw the pterosaurs, I forgot what was. Oh, sorry.
Pteranodons.
Dimorphodon or
Pteranodons.
pteranodon?
Yeah, in that one episode, wasn't it? Oh, was it episode like 6, maybe 7? I can't remember which one it was
I forget the
specifically.
numbers.
When they appeared for like 2 seconds, I did think in my head, oh, that was just literally going to be the thing from the poster that was teasing. I had a feeling that was just going to be it. I was like, yeah.
So potentially, this mysterious pterosaur could be a creature that appears in future seasons, and they just used it here. It wouldn't be the first time.
But Zaina being in the poster?
Yeah, she's in the season.
Yeah. But if you're thinking it's gonna, but if you're suggesting that's gonna be a creature that's gonna appear in a later season,
Yeah, might be.
but I don't
Okay,
think.
because
But I don't think.
Could have been shadows. If there might be a model for it. I don't know.
But I was gonna say, but maybe, but I don't. But parent, because in the poster she's in the poster,
So
so I don't. Either you're
I'm-
suggesting that she's gonna come
not.
back.
I'm not saying this is a poster made for a later season. I'm saying they just possibly used a creature that appears in a later season for a poster of season 2.
Okay, I get you now.
Or I could be overthinking this, and they just lied.
Either way, if we're done with this topic, I want to move on to like another minor topic that probably only speaks to me. I really, just like the hippo, I'm really glad we got to see modern animals in this. And it's not just hippos. Even in this video, this concept art video, shows off they modeled other animals as well.
Yeah.
Crows, pelicans, seagulls, cows. It's like, it just makes the world feel more, it's not back to the island. It's not just the dinosaurs. This is the real world where animals are here. The laboratory is underneath a chicken farm with actual chickens. Maybe they're cloning the chickens, who knows? But either way, we're getting some connection. It just makes this thing feel connected to the real, the actual mainland.
Yeah, because this was like a thing. I think this is why I feel like I genuinely enjoy this show over like pretty much every Jurassic media, because this like is actually diving into like what I really wish Dominion did, and actually like show the consequences of the dinosaurs being in the world and interacting with it and how it's doing everything, and they're finally sort of showing that in this show. That I think that it is like just much more interesting world building, and I think obviously it's better. I think it's better world building even compared to even the first Jurassic, but then obviously it's kind of self-contained. Hang on, okay, hear me out. It's more interesting world building because there's more things going on. The world building in the Jurassic Park was just obviously more specific about how the dinosaurs were made, but it's all self-contained on that island in that sense. It's just what was in the park. I don't think that's bad world building because it's obviously relevant for what it was for the movie. But I personally enjoy a bit more of an expansive world building, as you can like really either theorize or speculate or even explore, which we do in this. Because there was also another thing I actually enjoyed, that the fact that we went to Africa instead of Australia. Because I feel like we never see like Africa in like any series, which is just a nice thing, really. I think it's like more culture, more places instead of just America, maybe Britain, or I shouldn't say Britain, maybe London. And then then maybe one episode in Australia, which is just the outback. You know, I don't know. It's just nice.
I can also say that since these animals are all in the show now, I now have 100% reason to believe that we are getting a Hammond Collection hippo. I want a super articulated hippo, please. Forget all the other dinosaurs. Hippo. And then baby hippo. I need Mudang. I need Hammond Collection Mudang.
But I need like Hammond Collection Chaos Fury stuff. Like
This is true.
I need a Hammond Collection of Do you think Saurus? Like I need it. Inject the strain into my veins. I need it.
That's the thing. You can't really make an official custom of this special baryonyx because all of them have eyes.
Yeah.
This baryonyx doesn't have any kind of eye at all. It's not, you can paint over the eye, but that's not the same thing.
I don't need it. I need it!
I'm trying to think. We know where Brooklyn's story is gonna go. She's probably gonna meet up with Dotson. He's gonna ask her for some food. And then... but then, where are the campers gonna go?
Okay.
Where's the Nublar 5 going with this story?
They're probably gonna go, okay, Brooklyn may have betrayed us, but they're still going to exploit dinosaurs. They're still going to hurt people. We still need to stop them.
So, they're gonna join the DLN. Like, I'm just trying to piece together what would happen in a future season. Because one part of me is like, they're gonna do the thing. Like, I remember one thing I really hated about Season 5 of Camp Cretaceous is when Kenji chose his father over them, their initial thought is just like, I can't believe Kenji betrayed us like that. I know we tried to kill his father and all, but man, he betrayed us. And I'm just listening to these kids talk about Kenji villainizing him, and Kenji is like treated like he's fully in the wrong, and I'm like, dude, you tried to kill his father. What did you think he was gonna do? And I feel like they're gonna do the same thing with Brooklyn now, where they're like, I can't believe Brooklyn betrayed us. Is it possible she's trying to protect us? But nah, that's not possible. She just full on betrayed us. She's evil now. And I'm like, oh, are they seriously gonna do this again?
No, I don't think they're gonna do that. This show is like genuinely showed like quite intelligent writing personally, in terms of like, as I say, what we thought was gonna be okay. This would probably be the safest or most like kind of stuff we saw in like Camp Cretaceous, but they've exceeded my expectations at least. So I think the campers or the New Blastics are fully aware that Brooklyn isn't necessarily evil, but they're gonna still try and stop her from whatever she's trying to do.
The questions that come out are like, what's gonna happen to Brooklyn? It's mostly not I don't really care about what happens to the rest of the campers. It's mostly what just happens to Brooklyn. Like, where is she gonna go? Is she gonna go directly to Biosyn and meet up with them? Or are we gonna recreate the Malta scene? Is she gonna go to a different continent altogether to meet up? What's gonna happen? Are they somehow going to get Chris Pratt in here? He just not in like the full on story, but like, are we going to see glimpses of him chasing after Rain, and then we just see like the head, like the Lystro attack, and that's the Lystro scene? Are we gonna see baby Carnivores? Are we gonna see Jurassic Park 3 Velociraptors?
I mean, due to them presumably still trying to solve the dinosaur situation, they will probably come into conflict with Biosyn and what they're doing. Meaning, there is a good chance we might get to go to Malta again, which I'm happy about.
Yeah! Oh, wait. Does that mean if they all end up in Malta, is Darius gonna have PTSD when he runs into the Aloe? Or is that a different Aloe?
It might be the same Aloe.
Holy shit.
Oh, boy.
Didn't you predict this before? I swear you said this. The Aloe in Dominion looks strikingly similar to the one.
Yes, I'm aware. But at the same time, it could be like they're just a similar model, or if that really is the blind one. Because I have seen certain images showing the render of the aloe, and its eye looks perfectly fine on the side that it's supposed to be blind.
It may be a retcon thing.
Yeah.
Possible.
Im-
Either way.
It may just be a inconsistency issue.
Yeah.
Or they might not actually try that. I don't know.
Also, I can imagine that, like, maybe season 4, there we'll probably see the Giga and the Theory or something.
Yeah, because I was thinking that, like, in the same card set that showed the Suchomimus battling the hippo, keep in mind these aren't actual screenshots; they're illustrations.
Yeah, I know. I've seen these. There's one with like the battle at Big Rock Aloe with a little baby, right?
I didn't hear about that one. I've only seen the Suchomimus and the hippo one, and one of the Giga.
Doing what?
Just standing there.
Oh. Well, maybe that's not exactly much to go off of. Because, like, Suko is like Suko versus Hippo. The moment the Hippo showed up, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And then this one's just like Giga stand there. That's just so Giga Dominion Giga. That's his thing. They keep trying to advertise him as this big bad villain, but he's just living life.
He's trying, man. He's really trying. He's trying his best.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of speculating what's going on in the future, I genuinely don't really have any idea. I'm not too sure where they will go, which is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that the Brooklyn and the broker stuff does lead to something interesting, because they set this up really interestingly, and now I'm genuinely invested in, like, intrigued by this.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hope they get. I don't know what the new Blast 6 is going to do either. I kind of hope they get a bit of a new thing going. I'm hoping it's not just going to be following around after Brooklyn for a whole season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They could do one or two things. One I don't think is as good, or one is I think is better. One they could, as I say, what I just said before, the new Blast 6 is running after Brooklyn and the broker, and they're just always ahead. But then again, the broker was trying to kill the new Blast 6 a few times.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is they could, like, Brooklyn and the other new Blast 6 could reunite again properly in earlier in the new season, and maybe the whole group is actually trying to stop the broker, which I think I would prefer rather than them just chasing Brooklyn.
Because that's the thing. I really don't know where the Nublar 5 are going to go from this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly lost. Like, Brooklyn, I can sort of piece together what's going to happen. But these guys, I don't know, go back to America, eat some ice cream, watch some TV.
I do hope we see new countries and continents and that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. They smuggled themselves to Africa. They have no passports.
That's right. How are we going to get back?
Literally just dinosaur transportations. They just stow away on the ships more. Also, we need to see Bumpy. Bumpy can't be just in the first season, then that's it. If Bumpy's not in the show anymore, I'll be livid. Also, Bumpy's egg needs to hatch, which that will definitely happen eventually.
Yeah.
That's a given.
Yeah. I mean, we know it's gonna hatch. I'm just praying they don't name it Speckles. I am praying to Tank that they do not name it Speckles.
It hatches and it's just a Tarbosaurus.
No, it hatches and all of a sudden there's a narration. I will legit cry if they name it Speckles. That will literally ruin it for me. I will be like, you should have scrambled at birth. You should have been scrambled the first few times this last season.
It just gains an internal monologue.
It would be so funny if the new season just cuts to just like Darius or maybe Kenji just poaching some eggs, and it's just all the dinosaur eggs that we're trying to save earlier. It's that bit from like Shrek where they wake up and Fiona's just cooking the eggs, and it's just And then the whole time they were trying to save the dinosaur eggs and they're just cooking them for breakfast. Hungry?
I will admit, the music didn't really stand out to me this season.
Whoa, Sonny Jim.
It was
you two
good.
battle it out.
It was good,
And
but it
fight.
didn't stand out to me.
I stand out to me actually because I purposely paid a bit more attention to the music.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically like when Red first reveals herself. That piece of music I really like. It reminds me of Little Nightmares.
I will say, there is a very specific musical cue to Red that I do like. It's creepy, it's eerie, I like it.
I think that word's tossed around a lot this season. Eerie. There's a
Mhm.
lot of eerie bits this time around. I mean, we also got Hippo, but we got Eerie as well.
Who's Eerie?
Shut up.
Well, you see, Orca, that's the 5th Atrociraptor.
Ah, wait, I thought that was just the white woman. That's her name.
Yeah, that's her real name. The names we gave her were just nicknames.
Right.
If White Woman really is somehow related to Santos, does that mean her name is Eerie Santos?
I was gonna make the same joke.
1 second. Hold on, I got distracted.
Oh, it's not Mickey again. Haha.
No.
I just saw the light significantly increase, and Zane just looked up.
Tank. She's coming. Tank is coming for you, Zane.
I was gonna say, it looks like Tank was properly coming for him.
My child, your time has arrived. He didn't even go up as well.
My child, your time has come.
Unfortunately, Zane has been taken by Tank. I have to take over.
Okay, Red.
We have made this joke before.
Zane, that joke will probably be cut out.
Okay.
That's so
I was
brutal.
I
I just got his bit. I didn't even let him finish. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So I just felt water fall on my arm, and I thought, oh, is the ceiling leaking or something? Turns out, no, it was nothing. I was imagining it.
I was about to say Zane was replaced by Red.
Just whenever you say red, just the word baguette appears in my mind.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, I think we're out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I don't have any more to talk about.
Yeah, we talked about all the characters, their plot points, all the dinosaurs, the animals.
The fucking bitch that took Brooklyn's arm.
So, how are we gonna end? So I guess final thoughts on the season.
It was good.
I loved it. Genuinely, this made me really enjoy this show now. I'm invested, and I hope they don't screw us up. This, as I say, this is my new favorite Jurassic piece, even over Park, which is blasphemous to say. Yeah, I know. Oh, smite me down. Oh, no, Tank, don't actually do that.
Yeah. Yes. For legal reasons, I shall, of course, say that the original Jurassic Park is the greatest and untouchable, and cannot be. No matter what comes in the future, nothing will ever be as good as it. That is how seniority works. No matter how much effort you put into something, it will never be better than that thing that came out a long time ago.
Of course, my child.
Yes, that is how it works. It's like you make a piece of macaroni art when you were 2, and then in the future you make all sorts of great things, like you build skyscrapers and houses, but everyone will say they're not as good as that macaroni art you made when you were 2.
Don't compare me to macaroni art.
Oh yeah, right. Yes, you. I was talking about you, not a certain green talking orb.
I'm dead.
Thank you all so much for watching, Here has been Doctor Indominus, joined by
Zane Reborn, joined by... I can see you looking at yourself again.
I become cross-eyed if I do that. I don't like it.
I mean, I bumped into the camera and rolled off the chair. I think Orca just full-on died.